Okay, so let's begin a journey into Maha Rahulovada Sutta. This entire sutta is for practice, actually, from a Sotapanna to Arhat. That's one single sutta is sufficient to check our progress, what we are getting and what we are not getting. So it will show up completely about the person's stages in terms of the understanding what he or she should have, and also to look at whether it can be understood, not only listening about it, but can I really practice it? So, where does it all begin? It begins with five kandhas. And the question comes, who can understand five kandhas? Only Sotapanna and above can understand five kandhas. That's the answer. So, if I don't understand experientially the five khandhas, what should I do? Then you should practice ayatana, understanding ayatana. So that means I have to go to Sanyukta Nikaya 25.1 to 25.10. That is the starting point, because I need to see whether I am a Saddhanusari or a Dhammanusari or a Sotapanna or not. That's what I need to do. So basically, it's not about fighting with oneself, it's about understanding where am I? Where am I in terms of practical understanding? Okay. So the basically is that when Rahula asked this question, Rahula is a Sotapanna. So he understands Rupa, but he's not able to understand about Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara in the way what Buddha is expecting him to do in terms of Atita, Anagata, Pachupanna, Olarika, Sukhuma, Hina, Panita, Santike, Dure, like that. He doesn't know how to see Vedana in that, how to see Sanya in that, how to see Sankhara in that, how to see Vijnana in that. He doesn't know. So he asked a very innocent question to Buddha, is it only about Rupa? Because that's more easy to practice. The remaining all are of Mano, that is more of Ayatana. So his question is, how should I understand this? Okay, so that's the context with which we are starting this. The context, you should know it clearly. What's the context? The context here is that if I know five khandhas, I am a Sotapanna. If I don't know five khandhas, or I'm not able to understand five khandhas, that there is five khandhas, then I am not a Sotapanna. So what should I do? I should go back into Sanyukta Nikaya 25.1 to 25.10 and practice Anicca, Viparinami, Anyatha Bhavi in all the six ayatanas, internal, six ayatanas, external, then the phassa, then the vedana, like that. I mean, the consciousness, vijnana, then vedana, etc., etc. Whatever is there from 25.1 to 25.10, that needs to be practiced. If I am not a Sotapanna, clear, that's basic. No room for speculation, no room for doubts, no room for anything else. See, what if I don't understand that also? There's no answer to it. There's no easy answer to it. That means I can't understand ayatana. Then I don't know what should I work out on. I don't know. Honestly, if you ask me, if I am the person who is working out and I'm not able to understand the chakku, sota, ghana, jivha, kaya, mano, then in this life, that's all I can do. That's what I should accept. It's not about fighting with oneself or doing something and saying that it should work, it should work. No. Again, I shouldn't become stubborn. There's no stubbornness. It is suju, easygoing, no stubborn. Yep. If I become stubborn on one side or if I become arrogant on the other side, it doesn't work. I need to know exactly what is my position. So, my take on this, on Maha Rahulovada Sutta, is that you are a Sotapanna. Simple. Okay? Not a Saddhanusari, not a Dhammanusari, I'm talking about. You are a Sotapanna. You know you're a Sotapanna. Simple as that. Now, the next question comes, can I still continue doing whatever I'm doing and then um, basically come to know later? No, that shouldn't be done. It's not a play, it's not a game. So we need to be in Rahula's shoes at this point in time. You should understand that your mind is equivalent to Rahula and you exactly follow what he says and it works. If my mind is not equivalent to Rahula, then there's no point in sitting in that class. Got the point? So don't act stupid by becoming stubborn. No stubbornness. It's not there, not there. Simple as that. No, nothing to fight, nothing to get disturbed. Okay. Now that's the thing I want to clarify to everyone who is going to listen, either in Hindi session when we do or now, is that if you are not a Sotapanna and you don't know whether you are Sotapanna or not a Sotapanna, this one, what we are going to take, is not the right medicine at all. It's not, this medicine is not for you. So, can I still listen? Yeah, you can. Absolutely fair, but you can't practice. But what we are going to do is we'll get all the three Sutamaya, Chintamaya, Bhavanamaya, all the three. Okay, so do it in steps. So, the first thing, Rahula, he knows the five khandhas, but he doesn't know how to understand these 11 things itself. So, he asked the question to Buddha, saying that, Bhante, is it only on Rupa? And he says, no, Rahula, it is for Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. We have to do for all the five. So, with that statement, he doesn't know what to do, actually. So, he sits under a tree trying to contemplate, and while Sariputta is going along that route, Sariputta gives him another one instead of this. He tells him, do Anapanasati, that is far better than what you are contemplating on. And then he feels happy. So he goes back to Buddha in the evening, not asking him about the five khandhas, what he had asked him to work out, but on Anapanasati. So basically, for a Sotapanna to Arhat, Anapanasati is far more engaged oriented than the five khandhas way of looking at it. Okay, so that's the distinction you need to understand in Rahulovada Sutta. So Buddha says that if you do Anapanasati, even in Anapanasati Sutta, MN 118, he says this is one thing which will complete the journey. So you can stay with Anapana. I mean, Anapanasati Sutta, not Anapana of whatever we have done in the traditions. Okay, that's not what we are talking about. So then Rahula leaves that five khandhas and comes to Anapana. Okay. Now for clarity, meaning if he had taken the five khandhas, what would have happened? Let's take he would have taken and he would have started contemplating what would have happened. So I'll cover on that five khandhas because that is a stage of anagami, and you would know that you have reached anagami by these five khandhas. So let me take you through and then take you through what Buddha explains one by one very nicely to Rahula to cover that up on five khandhas and also on Anupanasati. So it's a beautiful sutta for anyone to digest it. But the only thing, like I said, you should be a minimum Sotapanna, not meant for others or who have not themselves known they are Sotapanna. Okay? Not about somebody giving them a certificate that from today for the next 100 years you're a Sotapanna. No, we are not talking about that. Now, what is this Rupa? He's saying, if I were asking Buddha, he would reply in this way, Vilas, it's like having Atita, Anagata, Pachupanna, these three time periods. Olarika, Sukuma, Hina, Panita, Santike, Dure. Any one of these combinations you have, you should treat it like Neta Mama, Neso Ahamasmi, Neso Name Atta. So now let me take you through a ride. What is that ride I'm talking about? I'm saying that let's say I have seen my past life, which I've seen. So that past life also had a Rupa. Okay. Now what it had? It had Atita, past. Yeah, so I had a Rupa in the past. Forget the past life. In this current life also, when the body was removed from the womb, it had a Rupa, that Atita. From that standpoint, this Rupa is Anagata. From that standpoint. From the infant standpoint, this is Anagata, yet to come. Pachupanna, that means, and my mother is holding in her hand Atita, that Rupa which was there in my mother's womb is no longer there. That Rupa is there, but it is Atita. Now, Pachupanna is the form which my mother is holding. That form. Anagata is this Rupa. Olarika, this one. And then Sukuma, when the egg and the sperm met, it is Sukuma. Jab we met, that's Sukuma. Okay. Hina, inferior. Panita, superior. Let's take this example where I'm yet in the womb and my mother is 2 months pregnant. It is Hina. When compared to this Rupa, that's Hina. This Rupa is superior. Why? Because it can do anything. It's strong, it can walk, it can run, it can jog, it can do everything. So basically, that's Panita. Dure Santike. Dure. Now, from this standpoint, old age is Dure. Vilas at 90 is Dure. Vilas in next 1 hour is Santike. That's very near in 1 hour, right? That Rupa is going to change in the next 1 hour. That's true. How? Now, didn't I feel hungry in the morning? Yes. So, didn't I eat? Yes. Now, after a couple of hours, will I going to eat? Yes. So then it's Santike, near. His body is going to get exhausted and requires refreshment. You refresh. Yep. So now I see this Rupa, Sabbam Rupam, all Rupa. Now, if I put my past life, and my face is a Tibetan, in that my parents are Tibetan. And I'm not talking about Ladakh, I'm talking about Tibet, Shigatse, where I was born. So that Rupa is different because my face is a Mongolian face. In that, my parents are Tibetan and I speak Tibetan and I follow Dalai Lama. That Dalai Lama, not the current Dalai Lama, that Dalai Lama. And I can see the carvings in my house. Okay. And I can see paintings on the wall. I can see my school, the school what I attended. And I'm able to see the first time I went to Potala Palace. It was such a celebration because we are meeting God, which is Dalai Lama. And so that's a palace. So we went from Shigatse to Shegar to Lhasa. And Lhasa is my favorite place. Even today, if somebody drops me to Lhasa, it looks like I'm home, back home. Okay. That's where I did my, say, college kind of life in Lhasa under guidance of one Rinpoche before I met my friend, who was also a classmate. So we became thick friends, going together everywhere. And today he's reborn in Ladakh, and I'm born here. And we met each other. I'm born in 71. I met him in 2014 after so many years. So if I journeyed, then it is something very strange that how the Rupa can give me a feeling of togetherness, right? So we are together. So the first time I met him in his office in Leh, he didn't feel I am someone whom he doesn't know. And I too did not feel I don't know him. We spoke over phone and he said, Vilasji, please come to Leh. I will bear your expense. You just put your flight ticket and come. He also doesn't know why he did that. He asked me to come for free for 2 weeks in Ladakh. I've not met him. But we both felt connected, totally connected. And right, and then if I see a very strange encounter, so one second. So in this strange encounter, what I find, in just 4 years' time, I'm on the paper. Okay, this is in Ladakh, about talking about Buddhism. Just 4 years of meeting. This has not happened to me in anywhere else, that somebody asked me to explain about Buddha's teaching, right? And this paper is 31st January 2018. Something strange. It doesn't happen, right? I'm also known in Bhutan, but nobody in Bhutan has asked me to give a write up of Taksang Monastery, which is also called a tiger nest. I'm also known in Himachal, but nobody in Himachal has asked me to write anything or share anything. I'm also known in Uttarakhand, and nobody has asked me in Uttarakhand to give me a write up. There are not a lot of people who know me in Uttarakhand, Dehradun, Nainital, and so many other places. They know that this guy is there. Nobody's asked me. Haridwar, Vishnu Prayag, and so many places. But nobody's asked me. Himachal, many people know me. Okay, especially Spiti Valley. There are a lot of people who know me. And Ladakh, no questions to be asked. Almost everybody knows in Ladakh because the population is too small. And since I had an opportunity to do many things in Ladakh, so very well known. And I might be known in Tibet. I'm not too sure. Nepal, again, another place where I know a lot of people. But nobody's asked me to write except for Ladakh and except for this person, right? So then you can see how the Rupa of Atita past brings this magic or magical illusion. But this face, what I just now showed you, okay, this monastery where we went is in Hemis. And this is a cliff. On a cliff is this monastery. In normal, if you want to go to this part of this place, generally it is difficult for a South Indian to walk. And also people from Mumbai or Maharashtra or any of the coastal areas, it's very hard to walk up and sit and meditate in a cliff. But when we went, it's very simple. No exhaustion, nothing, just like a usual. In Hindi, it's called pahadi or a mountain kind of people. They just go around doing their own thing. It was something like that. Even in Sikkim, a lot of people know me. So, what I'm trying to say is all the Rupas in the past, all the Rupa in the present, all the Rupa in the future, whether they are of Ularika, solid, Sukuma, subtle, like this is solid, but what was there in the womb is subtle because they're not solid. When my mother was 2 months old, now that I can remember the journey into the womb, so how it was 2 months ago, I can visualize, not imagine, really visualize, really know. Oh, this is not because of the videos, because I know that's how it was. So then, can I make it as etam mama? No, because my schooling in Shigatse and also in Lhasa is totally different than my schooling in Bangalore. Also, my schooling in Belgaum or in some time been in Solapur. So my pre-schooling, so to say, was in Solapur. But there it was in Shigatse. Maybe you don't know where is Shigatse either. It's in Tibet. Okay. And there's a place called Shega. And then the greatest place to visit is Lhasa and Potala Palace. So even today, meaning even before I came into this Dhamma thing, in 96, to be precise, somewhere in 96, 97, I used to dream about Potala Palace. It so happened that I got hold of a video from Michael Pellin by name Himalayas. And that's for the first time around a video was made or a BBC documentary on Himalayas. And that caught my attention. It takes from every places of Himalayas. But when it came to Tibet, it was extraordinary experience. That I'm in Potala Palace, even though he did not go inside Potala Palace, because now it's turned into a museum, Potala Palace. So he has done, Michael Palin has done documentary on that. You can see it on the internet. It's there now on YouTube as well. If you just give Michael Palin Himalayas, you should be able to see it. Okay. In that, the Tibet, right? This whole thing is about Tibet. And for the very first time in 2014, when I went to Ladakh, I saw that flag, Tibet flag, near, meaning very near vicinity. And that clicked my thought process. At that time, I had not seen my past life of being a Tibetan. It only happened in 2018, 4 years down the line. That is the same time when I was here. I was doing an interview. So basically, in 2014 and 15 and 16 and 17, these many years, if there was a flag which showed free Tibet, it used to make my attention go there all the time. Wherever it was there on a building, my eyes would go free Tibet. And in 2007, near Bangalore, there's a place called Gelugpa where they have given for the Tibetan settlement. I'd been there while I was going to Coorg to enjoy. We just happened to take a detour and go there. And when I entered the Golden Monastery, it's called Golden Temple or Golden Monastery, I spent so many hours, which made my wife and son clueless. Why is he spending so much time on something which he doesn't even know? Because I was following Dalai Lama by then. So anything on the Tibetan, and that's it. I'm frozen. Okay. So I didn't have my past life experience of her being a Tibetan in 2007. Or when I started following Dalai Lama in 99, 2000, I never knew anything about Tibetan. But it just attracted me. Especially the 14th Dalai Lama, the current Dalai Lama, really attracted me. It's like I felt I found my God. And for a Tibetan, Dalai Lama is a God. He's a reincarnation of Avalokiteshvara. And surprisingly, nobody taught me what is Dalai Lama. Lama is a monk Dalai is ocean. It was given by a Mongolian monk, a Mongolian king, basically. He became a monk later when he created a sect called as Dalai Lama, because ocean of compassion. Dalai meaning ocean. So in 99 2000, I used to get dreams of Tibetan while I've never been to Tibet, while I've never knew anybody at all. Why Dalai Lama? Who gave me that? I don't know. But basically, that's all what it was. But in 2018, on a flight from Delhi to Leh, changed everything. I could see my past life in that 1.5 hour flight from Delhi to Leh in the morning, early morning flight. It changed my perception that why I love Tibet. And not only Tibet, if that language, that script is shown to me, even while I was when I had an out of body experience in 95 or near death experience. And after that, I had a weird liking for the Tibetan um, symbols and also language. I don't know why. I'm not a Tibetan in this life. But strangely, call it a deja vu or whatever it is, it's that language, when it is written, I feel very happy for whatever reason. And I feel literally connected. Okay, now I'll try to see whether I can show you on our website. I think he has removed it. Otherwise, you see here, it's been long years I've not been on tourism. But if I take the company of ours, which he's the owner, and you see if you go down here, and he's here and I'm here. Strange. He could have removed me off. Makes no sense. He could have just done that. Why keep me? He's not bothered to remove on the website. From the day it has been there, after he added me in, he's not removed. Strange. If you quit a company, your name is removed from there, right? It's pretty strange. Like all of these people whom I showed you are so close to me that if I want to go to Leh or to Tibet or wherever, everything is taken care. Very strange, right? But there's no strangeness. It's the same Rupa, that Rupa, but it's not yours because I no longer have a Tibetan face. I no longer is privy to that language. I have no idea of that language. But it fascinates me. That's true. But I don't know. I sincerely don't know what to do with that. And it beats my imagination. Like, if somebody, again, for sake of it, shows me this symbol without explaining what it is, I can say, this is Om. This is Om, Ma. Ke, Pe, Pa, Di, Me, like that I can read. Om Mani Padme Hum. This is her in Sanskrit. And this symbol is ma, like that. So this, when I was there in Australia, so the Shenial was interested in knowing the Tibetan. So I wrote on his board, which I showed it to Ariu and all these guys who had come there. And in a jiffy, I could write the entire Tibetan explanation of what it is. Because he wanted to know about the Tibetan Buddhism. I said, okay, give me some hours, I'll do it for you. So he had a whiteboard. I filled up this entire whiteboard explaining about, because we were going to a Tibetan monastery in Brisbane, somewhere outside. It was beyond 150 kilometers. So it was after Sunshine Coast. So I could write down entire explanation on mandala. Okay. Now, where does it come? It comes from your past. But Nitam Mama. Now, this is a difference. While I speak all of this, it connects the dots and making me feel that I am a Tibetan. But if I was a Tibetan then why am I South Indian now? What changed? My parents are Tibetan, not in this life, but my parents were Tibetan. And I love Tibet more than any place or anything to do with Tibetan. Even today, my first love is being a Tibetan. That's my first love. Even today, as I speak, I don't like any other. If it is Tibetan, I'm feeling, wow, great. So, why then? Why then? I'm not a Tibetan today. It makes me wonder, why shouldn't I be a Tibetan? I have no idea. But Buddha has idea why it shouldn't be. Okay, so can you take it as mine? No, that's not accepted because it does not continue. So if that doesn't continue, can you hold on to that view that Atita Anagata Pachupanna is you, is your Rupa? No, even in this life, it has changed. The past life, I could see it has changed. And I was unmarried then. Myself and my partner, whom I showed you just now on that website, we both are students of Gelug sect. And we are from Gelugpa. That's the reason we follow the Dalai Lama. There is Red Hat sect, Kagyug, and all. There's so many sects in the Tibetan. We are from Gelug. So we wear yellow hat. So we are yellow hat sect people. But today I don't wear any hat. And today I'm a married person. And back then, before the storm hit Shigatse, when we were coming down, my friend wanted to bring in food for me and the monastery. He did not return. Maybe he died en route. And in search of him, I went, and then I got stuck in a snow blizzard and not having any food, not having any water, not having to feed anything, and bitterness of cold. I died in 2.5 days of not able to come out of that snow blizzard. And I remember. But I died as a Tibetan. And that's a fun part. But how did I land up in South India? To a South Indian family. I'm from the up north. It's the roof of the world. From there, how did I jump into the South Indian way of living? Strange. And I guess that was my past life, meaning before this life. But if it was not, I don't know. There could have been many more lives before I touched here. So what I did in 2007 or like onwards, whenever I used to go to Tibetan monastery, I used to question, why am I here in this monastery? And knowing the iconography, nobody has taught me the Tibetan iconography because it is completely hidden from the general public. You need to be a Lama to understand what is written there, or you just believe it. But the iconography is totally different. You can meditate on iconography, you can meditate on mandala. I was wondering, from where do I know this mandala meditation? From where do I know Kala Chakra? Nobody has taught me. Okay, I know Dalai Lama using that words, but I'm not a Tibetan in this life to go and learn. And I'm not even a monk. I'm not a Lama. I need to be a Lama. So Ashwin in our group keeps on calling me Lama because one of the Lama in 2018, while we went to Ladakh, he said to our friend, saying that he's a Lama. But then when I told Ashwin, and when my friend kept on explaining, when we went in 2025, last year, last September, we were in Ladakh, and Ashwin and Ravindra and Amar had come. So my friend was saying he's more of a this kind of person than your kind of person. So anyway, so basically that monk in 2018 said that you are a Lama, so you shouldn't be sitting here, you should be sitting there. So he gave me a separate seat. So the basic fun factor here is what happened to my life as a Tibetan. But I have not forgotten Tibet. Bobby knows it because I had wrote it on the board while he was there. And it was surprising. On a gong, his wife, Sheniel's wife, had gifted him one gong. Okay. Long time ago, they had bought it or they had it at their home. And then what it so happened, it was lying there. And one day, Bobby, Sheniel showed him this one. What do we do with this? So he was holding it and he was playing around. And I said, I can do the gong meditation if you want. So I sat and showed them how to play with it. And also I wrote down all the 8 petals, what's this mandala is going to be and how it works. Everything is there. On my website, it is there. If somebody is interested in reading, I used some of the things from even ChatGPT so that it can give me a faster, like this Tibetan Om Mani Padme Hum and all of that. Basically, my thing is not on that. This Rupa, should I take it as real? And the answer is no. So if I am an anagami level, it's easy to do what Buddha asked me to do. But if I'm at a Sotapanna level, it's pretty difficult because I'm not able to understand the Atita business of it and the Anagata business of it and the Pachuppanna, then the Olarika, Sukuma, Hina, Panita, Santike, Dure, like that. But now I can do it. It's easy. I've still not gone into Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, which will do it slowly. But this is how you need to contemplate on the Rupa. Yakechi Rupa, any Rupa, which is past, future, present. The food what I was eating then is totally different than the idli bada thing what I eat now. We never had anything like that. It was more about a thick wheat, barley thing and wheat thing with beer. It's called chang. There's not even one day in my life I have not drunk chang. As a Tibetan, you're supposed to drink. So have alcohol of all kinds. Rice, wheat, barley. And my mother used to make very good alcohol. And she fed me with alcohol. And I had 5 yaks before I was sent to school. So I used to take care of the yak, grazing. And I used to drink yak milk, eat yak butter, and eat all kind of Tibetan food. And during deprivation period, meaning when there's nothing there, so we are like nomads. We go from this place to that place in search of food. One monastery took me because my father was not able to manage. So he sent me to a monastery for schooling. That was in Shigatse. I don't know where my parents went after that. Because after I went to Lhasa and we were coming down from Lhasa, I have never heard of my father or mother, or I had one sister. I have no idea what happened to them. I only know that I lost my friend and I did go and take him, and a snow blizzard killed me. That's all I know. Now, what happened to my parents? My sister, she was hardly 11-year-old when I last saw her, when I was coming from school. That's the last encounter I think I know of my sister. I have no idea because I'm a Lama. Because my father made me a Lama. So I really don't know. But this much of information I have from my past life. But can you say it is mine? Is the question. And the answer is no. Because I don't have any Tibetan lineages right now. Even though I love Tibetan people. But that doesn't make me Tibetan. Now my love for Ladakis are more. Like if Stanzin was here, if they had attended today's thing, I'd have felt so close with them. Because they're of my clan, my people. Mongolian. Okay, and Eru has a little bit of Mongolian look because all of that, China and Japan and all these places, they have Mongolian face. But I don't like Eru's face. I like the Tibetan face. Why? Because China occupied Tibet. They took our freedom. So when I see free Tibet, I feel connected. Even though I was dead by then, when Mao took over, there was no Shigatse, there was no Shega, there was no Lhasa in the way I was. But when I saw the documentary of Tibet, it brought tears to my eyes, as though I'm losing Tibet right now. And when Dalai Lama moved from Tibet, Lhasa, to Tawang in eastern Tibet, or rather now called Arunachal Pradesh. And Tawang is one place where I feel enamored. And I love Arunachal people. If by chance I see an Arunachal person, because he's from eastern Tibet, I feel connected. And Dalai Lama came to Tawang. And from Tawang, Jawaharlal Nehru gave him asylum, political asylum. And then from then, they have Tibetan in exile office in Dharamsala. And the remaining, I think you know. If you are following Dalai Lama a little bit, you would know all of this history. Maybe you will not get so associated with it as much as I would associate with that historical information. It's like my teacher has been separated out of Tibet. Now he stays in Dharamsala. So if a choice is given to me between Bangalore and Dharamsala, I would choose Dharamsala versus Bangalore. Why? Because I'm with the people whom I love. So I don't like Maharashtrians or anybody else as much as Tibetans, if I keep it in that way, right? Because that Rupa is what I like. That Vedana is what I like. The Sanya, Tibetan, is what I like. The Sankhara, I want to be a Tibetan. And you see that news article which I showed you. The monastery is Tibetan. And I was selected to be a guide to explain the monasteries. It's very funny. And also, government of Meghalaya and government of Assam, they had some recce tour for travel agents. And I like Meghalaya more than Assam because it's Eastern culture. I love the Eastern culture, not the Indian culture, the real Eastern culture. And Meghalaya, Shillong, and all of the places have Eastern culture because it comes from the land of snow, which is Tibet. Okay. When I was in Sikkim, in Meghalaya, and one of the travel agent who organized this took me to a government run guides for training. That means we have to train guides how they should talk to the clients and all that. And my friend said, Vilasji, why don't you talk on guides? I'm a software engineer by my designation, title, and blah, blah, all that. I have no tourism experience. Forget being a guide. But I gave 1 hour lecture on the guides. How should you bring in customers, how you should show the monuments, what monuments should you show, and how to explain about monuments without making them feel bored, how to make it pictures, meaning explained by picture, like that. It was very surprising to me. This happened in 2012. Oh, sorry, 13. It's very funny. I started my company in 2013. All of these things have happened in 2013 and 14 and 15 and 16 and 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All of these years are this journey into the Himalayas. So the Rupa of the Himalayas, the Vedana of Himalayas, the Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, is there. If it is upadana, then it is asking me to go back in time and enjoy, which is going to be a trouble, right? So what should I do? Netam mama, neso ahamasmi, neso name atta. And that's what I have to do. Okay. See, I'll give you another beautiful example where I've got maximum of my experiences. Is in this Paksko monastery. This is in Ladakh, where we had gone. Myself, Amar, Ravindra, and Ashwin. If you see this, it's so nice. It's if you go on top and sit there, there's no one there, and you see this, it's so empty. That's Indus River on that side. I can just sit and meditate. There's nothing in there. And it's been like this. So this is Amar taking it. So this is Maitreya Buddha, as what it is written here. And just go there and sit. We sat there for long. And this is how it looks. This is Shanti Stupa in Leh. Okay, so basically, by being here, what is happening to me? I'm going back to my good old Tibetan life. So, do you believe in past life? The answer is yes. Do you know past life? And the answer is yes. But should you take past life? And the answer is no. Otherwise, next time around, I will be born again in Tibet. Because now it is so enamored inside that I would love to be a Tibetan back again. So I need to find a Tibetan parents. And what would happen to this Rupa? The South Indian face becomes a Tibetan face. What happened to the South Indian eyes? Becomes a Tibetan eyes. What happened to the ear? Same. Nose, same. Tongue, same. And body anyway is Tibetan. So what happened to the mind? I learned Tibetan. And what do I speak? Tibetan. And where would I go? All the Tibetan places. Sikkim, Bhutan, Nepal, Tibet, Ladakh, Arunachal, all of these places. And what do you follow? Mahayana Buddhism. And in that what? Vajrayana. And Amar is Vajracharya. This is a thing. That means he's an acharya of a Vajra. That means he's a teacher of Vajrayana for Nepal, Newar groups. Newar Hindus, they converted to Buddhism. Okay, so it's funny how this Rupa changes in this life, in the past life, and in the next life, that makes you feel you are. Okay, that's it. To begin with, tomorrow we'll get into Vedana. I do not want to take Vedana today. Any questions, anyone? Yes.
So similar to what story you are just trying to explain about yourself, but in the same way, I have heard the story about Raghavendra Swami.
Yes.
Actually, what I have heard, whether it's true or not, how far it is correct or not, you can please correct me. But in he was a Brahma's retinue. He was a part of a Brahma's retinue. So there he faltered and came back to in Satya Yuga as Prahalada, and then his journey comes back to this Kali Yuga as uh, Raghavendra Swami. So how far this is correct?
How far this is true is so far as that is true. Whatever I
Okay.
showed is true. So now let's look at another set. See, we are organizing a polo festival here. Okay, if you see here, and I am part of this village. How much is this true? Right? That much of that is true.
Okay.
So now you see here, we have been covered by what is that? TV anchors, and this is my company, Himalayan Fantasy. That's what I started as a venture. So we just this is the polo game. Whatever you have, US polo and all that polo as a game started in Ladakh. Okay, and all these are villages. So I'm representing the village. Nobody in this world would ever believe that I am part of this village. Right? It is very strange. If you think that what you said is how much it is true, my question would be how much of this is true in this life?
Now it's not. My doubt is clear, sir. Another question
Yes, go ahead.
regarding this same way.
Uh-huh.
We are very familiar with this Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna he has explained so much about all the so many aspects of spiritual journey, life, and all this. So my question is, if that whatever has come has been told in that Kurukshetra, that is battlefield, then the act that is Krishna is correct, Krishna is there. Then if Krishna is there, then Pandavas are there. And then if Pandavas are there, then Kauravas are there. So that Kurukshetra, this war has happened. So in the past, okay, if it is in the past, it has happened. My question is, in that case, now in that story, we talked about Karna, who has born as that is without any womb, he has born in that. How far that is?
See, I don't know about this. We are going into something which only Karna has to explain how this happened, right? Or somebody who is reincarnated from Karna to something should be able to see it and say that this is how I was. In fact, in one of the sutta, Buddha talks about upapattika. Certain humans get the way of getting upapattika without womb, right? And there is a possibility. It doesn't mean that every human should be born as. There is a sutta. There are three suttas that I don't remember the number, the name of the sutta, but he says certain humans as upapattika. Yep. Upapattika means instantaneous birth. They don't require womb. And can a human being come as a upapattika? And he says yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. But I have never heard anyone not having a womb. So if you ask me, is it possible? Except for Jesus, they have made it. Yes, Virgin Mary, right? She remained as a virgin. But Jesus is said to be like that, right? And that's the reason they say Virgin Mary. They specifically say she's virgin, like that. So Virgin Kunti. Because you know what? Pandu couldn't have sexual intercourse with Kunti because he will die instantaneously. So that means there should be something which should happen. So Upapatika is there. But as a human Upapatika, I don't know.
Maybe this, what we call it as a Treta Yoga, Kali Yoga, Dwapara Yoga, like that. In that yoga, that might have be possible.
No, we can put it like that, but irrespective of the yuga, if Upapatika is going to be there, it's permanent because that's you have non-womb and womb. So you can't say, now let's say somebody becomes here, somebody from our group reaches Anagami stage. You can't say because it is Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, this Yuga, then only it is Anagami stage. Otherwise, no, that's not like that. And he talks about the Yuga, 4 yugas and 4 Pugala, right? In that, in the Sangha. Yes, May, go ahead.
I was just listening to Vilasji's story, and this is like from the past, but remembering what Mrutyunjaya said about, when he had his vision from when he was 19, a vision of when that he'd be in Australia. How does that work? Sorry, it's just, when it's coming
Pachupanna.
into the.
Pachupanna.
Could you
Oh,
explain?
sorry. And no, it's like this. Pachupanna is current when he was 19, like what he shared while we were in Australia. That's the vision what he got when he was in 19. Anagata, that Rupa, what is going to come, he is able to see it now, which he didn't really consider it. He felt, oh, what just it has come. But can the visions come? Yes, it can come. Can you have an intuitive insights? Yes, you can have an intuitive insights. Even then, what Buddha says is that netam mama, don't keep it as yours. Okay, so that's a separate part. But what he saw while he was explaining is true. To his best of his knowledge, he got to see in future, he's going to meet 2 individuals who is going to transform his life. And when one with an Australian with whom he would get a better insight than this Indian sitting here and talking right now. But it's fair. Whatever it is his vision. I can't go back and fight with Mrityunjay, this is unfair. I have explained you so many things, and then whenever you explain, you say, Shaniel taught you how to do walking meditation. In fact, I was the one who taught Shaniel how to do walking meditation in the first place. He didn't know anything about walking meditation. So if any credit has to be given to this local guy, not an Australian. But his vision is his vision. It's fair. So at 19, for whatever reason, when he was in that ashram where he was studying, he got this vision. It's fair. But hasn't it happened that way? Yes, it did. He came to my house one day saying that I would like to join you for Australia. I said, yeah, why not? If you want to come, you come. And earlier, the only plan was he's coming. There was no Veena. And I was ragging both of them, and then Veena also joined in. But it is his vision which became real. So, most of his crying on that day is because the vision coming true. Because he couldn't believe that this can anytime happen like this. So the first day of his crying was because of he understood Dhamma. But from that time onwards, it was more about his vision coming true. And that's what I could see from his eyes. Maybe he should correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Having waited so much time for this to happen, that all the thing which was I am having, I could not tell to anybody that such a thing will happen in such a time. I could, if I tell those things to anybody, they will tell you that means you have gone mad.
Yes.
If that was the condition in my mind, I was not able to express those things to anybody and tell anybody unless I experience it myself. When I experienced that myself, now I was very happy that that thing happened so such a long back, and the same thing I am seeing it now presently as a present case. That was a future case in my that 19th year age. That was a future case. Now it is become a present case.
So what I explained to you, May, or to everyone, is of my past. And Mrityunjay explained about his future, right? Being in the present. So when he was in Satyasai ashram, or the school where his father sent him for studies, there he got this. Now Kiratan, who had come here, is a person who has been staying in Satyasai ashram or that place for many years. He's been a frequent visitor from his 20s or early 30s. And I couldn't share his experience to Kiratan. In fact, they both were there. Veena and Mrityunjay were there for some time. And if they had shared about this encounter of the future kind, Kiratan would have jumped in joy and surprise because he's been going to Puttaparthi ashram all the time. Even as I speak, he left from my home to the same place, Puttaparthi, to meditate. Because he was going back to Kerala after a few days. He was not going on the same day. So he went to Puttaparthi only. And what happened to Mrityunjay did not happen to Kiratan. Right? He couldn't see the Pachupanna right now, current, to the future, which is Anagata. While being here, he didn't see far. While Mrityunjay, for whatever reason, could see the far, saying that in future, Mrityunjay, you will be meeting some two strange people and you'll go to Australia. And the very fact he went, it's more weird than that vision itself. I can understand how it would have been on that day when it happened, simultaneous things happening. One, he penetrated Dhamma. Two, his vision came true. So he is more filled with gratitude with for Shenial, because that's what he got as a vision. Which is fine, which is fair, absolutely fine. But I can't go and sit with Mrityunjay saying that, hey, wait a second. The meditation, the walking meditation, which you keep on telling to people that he explained to you, but I was the person who explained to Shenial. You left this teacher itself. Shenial never knew this until last year of when I demonstrated at his home, and he said, yes, Vilasji, this is working. I think we should incorporate this for everyone. Okay. But here comes our friend saying that it was Shenial who taught him. Yes, he did. Because on that day of walking, there was no Vilas there. It was Shenial who explained him properly how to see the steps. And it worked for him. So he's right. But that's what he saw as a 19-year-old. So he required conditions to match, and the condition matched. So it worked. So Buddha would say, guys, don't fight. The condition matched, it worked, but don't take it as Neta Mama, this is mine. Neso Ahamasmi, this belongs to me. Neso Name Atta, this is not myself. You can't say Shenial is myself because you saw the vision when he was 19. But that is true. What he experienced is 100% true. What I shared till my past life, past thing, is also true. The present as Vilas is also true. But if that has changed to this, and this will change to something, that means you can't take anything to be truth and fact. Like one final thing before I call it a day, I want to show something very strange about a photograph which I took, taken it in Sikkim in 2010. For whatever reason, before I left Dalai Lama for good, I liked Nalanda. Nobody would take this because it's not visible from outside. So when I went here to this monastery, oh, sorry, I've not taken that monastery thing. Okay. Anyway, in that monastery, this was there. And it doesn't talk about Dalai Lama, His Holiness. It talks about Gyalwa Karmapa. Very strange. After coming back, I left Dalai Lama. It's very strange. I don't know what made me do that. It's really perplexing to me. Why did I take about this? And very soon, after a month of my arrival back from Sikkim, I left Dalai Lama following. It's really strange. And then I left the entire Tibetan for good. Very weird. And that weirdness I will talk tomorrow because that's part of Vedana. Now it's only Rupa, what I have shown you. So are you are leaving tomorrow or you're leaving day after tomorrow?
I will be there tomorrow.
You'll
and
be there
I'll take the night flight.
Night flight, okay. So you will land in afternoon of China time on Thursday.
No, Friday morning.
Friday morning.
So I might be able to catch the next one too. We'll see.
Okay. Fair. So you know what? Another last thing before I leave, I had a Chinese visa. I have never seen China at all.
Pretty sure you will.
I know, and I had a Tibetan visa. I've never traveled to Tibet. This is extremely strange. That the place where I was born, I remember, but I'm not able to go there at all. I just want to see once my hometown in Shigatse and see whether I can remember some of those monasteries and the roads, etc. I'm very much inquisitive of doing that. And my time I spent in Namso Lake in Tibet, I just want to go to Namso Lake, sit there. And for once, before I die, I want to visit my teacher's capital, Lhasa, the 11th Dalai Lama. Now we are 14th. I just want to see once how my studies were. And strange enough, I got the ticket. I got the flight ticket. I got all bookings. But instead of going to Tibet, I went into Abu Dhabi, losing all of my money I had paid for the tour. So I was flying from Bangalore to Shanghai, from Shanghai to Chengdu, from Chengdu to Xi'an, from Xi'an to Lhasa, from Lhasa to Everest Base Camp and all of that. And then Shigatse, Shagar, Namso Lake, this, that. Fly from Lhasa to Kathmandu, sightseeing of Kathmandu, and come from Kathmandu to Bangalore. Was the best memorable tour. All booked, including the permits, the Tibetan permits and everything. The visa to China, the flight ticket from Bangalore to China, everything done, including the train travel from Chengdu to Lhasa. I went to Abu Dhabi, same time. That's strange. And from then onwards, I am on high and dry to reach my hometown. I don't know why, but I know it. I will cover it in 5 kandhas. God by Maharashtra, no. But anyway, so it's rather strange, very strange that I'm not able to go to my hometown, at least for once. I want to see my extended families now, and now that I remember all of those places, roads, everything, just want to see once. I've seen it on the videos, but I want to put my feet on that land, which was once part of Dalai Lama 11. Yes, anyway.
And I have one question, probably for tomorrow. Is that I wonder if for Arhat, or these people completely enlightened, I know they don't have upadana kanda,
Even I don't have upadana, I'm just saying.
but I wonder to which extent the vedana sanya those still comes.
It
to
would be
them.
there. You can reflect upon everything. Like Buddha reflected upon all his past life, right? And then without that, how can you ever see your past life? That's part of your knowledge. Ubbe nivasati jnana, right? So you will get, you were so and you were doing so, and everything will get like what I'm speaking now, Ari. On the back side, I am having the entire image flowing by. And I say Shigatse, that's a sanya. Able to get into Shigatse. When I said Namso Lake, I'm able to clearly see Namso Lake.
And you could get tears also, right, from the Vedana.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I would cry. So I'm holding back the tears, looking at how my friend died, my very close friend. And you see, I just showed you that website. We, out of all the employees, it's a very fun thing that I'm not even an employee in that organization, right? And then for some strange reason, whoever has put it has arranged the photograph it like this. He and me. He could have put me anywhere. Need not be in this combination. But why? It's pretty strange. And I'm wearing the same local dress. The same local dress. I don't know. Strange. And why they should put us together? Whoever created that website, we never told them put these two guys together. And that's a person who was a lama. So I keep on telling him, you should be a lama, you should be a lama. He says, not in this life. So anyway, but that's a fact. So, do you get yes? Yes, I would, looking at that. Because I can remember him. Because he was everything to me in that life. He's taken care of me by guiding as a teacher and also taking care of my needs. And he went out to find some food for me and him. In the monastery, we were only 5 of us. We all were hungry, and he was very strong. He said, I will go and bring it, and never returned. So in the snowstorm, snow blizzard, I got caught up in search of him using a small lantern. It's very freezingly cold. Even in that, I did not die for 2 days. And then that's the end of it. So now,
Sir, that
yes,
your friend knows that you two were there.
yes, we both have spoken over it in 2018, and he also felt tears.
Does he remember? Like, does he feel that you are that person? Like, does he remember ever any
He
past
doesn't
life?
remember like that. In fact, Ashwin or not Mrutyunjay, sorry, Amar, either one of them, they asked them when we were traveling in the car, they asked him, do you remember Vilas like this? But he said once something very strange. Today, Ashwin is not there. I think we should ask him whenever he's there, and it'll be good for him to say rather than I saying it. But he said, my friend said, I have never doubted whatever Vilas says because I know what he says is real. Not today. The time I met him, I knew that he is something really strange person. I've never felt like this with anyone. But I know what he says is true. People used to laugh at his words, but I knew that what he's saying is true. Because we had some common friends. Whenever I used to talk about these things, they used to laugh at me, saying that, ha, what are you talking? And then they, after I had gone, they would say, what kind of mad person have you kept? Because they couldn't understand what I'm saying. But he said to them, to Amar and Ravindra and Ashwin, that I knew what he was saying is true. He felt that. And especially when his son died in 2018, that was a turning point for him, because then I had been there to their house, consoling the entire family, his parents, and his wife. She was completely devastated that, very strange circumstances, he died while coming from Srinagar to Leh. A stone fell on his back while he was sitting in the car, just sitting and enjoying a music, and he died. And one of our common friend, who is also a travel agent, called me up saying that, Vilas, what are you doing in Bangalore? You have to rush to Leh, otherwise our friend is going to do something to himself. You have to save them. I flew on the same day, meaning when he called up, immediately booked the flight ticket, whatever was the cost, no problem. Stayed with them, stayed for 2 weeks in their house, taught them how to meditate, how to let go of these things. Then today, really happy. I felt I did what he did to me in my past life. I got an opportunity to serve him and his family. He went out in search of food for me. And I could, in this life, return back the favor by saving he and his family from a real disaster. Because his son was 22-year-old then, and he was about to join the company, and he died. And the fun part was when he gave a call, he said in Hindi, Vilas, mera beta chala gaya. I said, chala gaya, he went away. Beta means son. So then I asked him, where did he go? He was so upset me that he said, he died, man. And he kept the phone down. And after that, he didn't take the phone at all. So then one of our common friend called me up saying that you need to rush to Leh. It's urgent. Get going. So the same night I flew to Leh. Otherwise, by now, these people would have been, I don't know what would have happened. So it gave me an opportunity to return back the favor. He saved my life. I saved his life. I feel very happy. And he also feels that. Especially after his son passing, our friendship have been totally different. It's completely different. It's not the same at all. And never it will be the same again. And we both live together. Ah, okay. That's really emotional, but yes. Any questions? Are we done? So we covered Rupa. Because what you're seeing is Rupa. That person is also a Rupa. This also is a Rupa. But it doesn't have any resemblance to a, what we can say, a Mongolian face. See, she's into ticketing. If I just give her a call, I need ticket to Timbuktu. She'll get me a ticket. And there's no place called Timbuktu. It's just a way of saying. So that's all our people. even today. That's strange. It is not cut. It's not cut off at all. Strange. And I'm not going to Ladakh. I used to fly every now and then during my past. But now 25, when we went, and 26 is over almost. I think we're not going. I'm not going this year. Next year, I don't know. So, no idea. Should we end? If there is nothing. So, that's all about Rupa. Then tomorrow, when we come to Vedana, we'll see what happens when the Rupa comes to be. How the past Vedana conditions the future, like in case of Mrityunjay. Why is he attached with Shenial? We can find out tomorrow. It's very strange. He has such a, what I can say, connection with Shenial. It's really nice. Very strange. He doesn't know who is Shenial at all. At least in my case, I can say, yeah, I know Shenial. But in his case, he never was anything called Shenial. But it's so strange. With that Rupa, his Vedana is different. And he gets tears in his eyes with Shenial. It's even more stranger to me. So we'll take it tomorrow. Okay, all right. Enjoy your day and night and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good night and good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.